What's up? What's up, everybody? Hi, welcome back to the show. I am Johnny. I'm your host for today, and we got Mark here, Mark Bell. What's going on, dude? How you doing?
I'm doing great, Johnny. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Thanks for being here. You have a really awesome, very interesting story because you weren't always an entrepreneur. You actually had a real job for many years, and then decided to leave and become an entrepreneur. And I feel like that transition is one of the most scary things that people can do. But what you were in IT, you were like an IT leader for almost 20 years, right? And then just decided to hang it up. And then now you're a full-time YouTuber and consultant, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's correct.
Um, and you have over what 15 million views on YouTube, which is wild,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
That's super cool, man. Just to give the viewers some background, why did you get into IT? What was the whole purpose behind that?
Gotcha. Yeah. So the IT thing was, it started when I was really young. Like I liked computers from a really early age. I think like 9 or 10.
Okay,
And my parents bought a computer for me. Like I was homeschooled. So like
what
all
year
my,
was this?
uh, 19, like 1990, 1989.
Before the 2000s, right? So
Like
it's
a
kind
while
of a
ago.
newer thing, right?
Yeah, yeah, they
Yeah.
like, color screens were like the thing, right? I
Okay.
mean, the hard drive on my computer was 20 megabytes. Megabytes.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, and I remember the salesman was like, "Oh, you'll never run out of space." To my parents. Yeah. So yeah, for a long time. And so I knew like what I wanted to do when I got out of high school, once I graduated. And I kind of rejected the college path because I was like, well, like what's college going to teach me that I don't already like I already know what I want to do, right? So is college really going to be that beneficial
That's
for
really
me?
rare, dude, that you already knew what you wanted to do out of high school because I feel like most people don't figure it out until they're in their mid 20s or late 20s.
Right.
So
Yeah, no,
that's
that's
that's pretty
true.
cool.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's one of those things I just love doing, right? And so I'm like, well, I can make a living with this, so why not just do it, right? And so anyway, I got a full-time IT job right out of high school. I ended up working for a place, got laid off after about a year. But I was a contractor, right? So I was working for a company, but they outsourced me to another company. And so the company that I was actually like doing the work for, like being on site for, they ended up hiring me on full time. And then I was full-time employee for 20 years. Kind of worked up my way through the ranks from help desk all the way up to associate director by the time I left. So
Wow.
it's a journey. Yeah.
Yeah. And what business was that? Or who did
So
you
I
work
worked
for?
for University of Missouri in Columbia.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, so I worked in higher ed without a degree, which is
So
kind of
you worked in a university without a degree, and you're like, I don't need this, but I can work here.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
Okay.
instead of me paying them, they paid me. So that kind of worked out.
So what did you like about IT?
So it took me the longest time to really kind of solidify it and boil it down to a specific thing. And that kind of happened after I left the university. But basically, the thing I really liked was I like tech in general. Like I like, like new stuff. Like I like new equipment, new devices. Like I'm a big tech
All the
nerd.
shiny things.
All the
Yeah.
shiny things like, oh, the phone can do this now. Oh, the software can, like all that stuff. I love that stuff. And I'm really good at fixing it, right? So if it breaks, I'm really good at troubleshooting and fixing. So I was always, like the go-to person, with my
I was gonna
family.
say that's a skill, dude. Like anything happens, they're like, call this guy. It's his problem.
Exactly. Yeah. And so
Yeah.
that just translated over into my career and it was kind of that way just my whole life, right? And so that's really like how that happened. That's really like what interested me about IT in general. Like I like the devices, I like fixing things, and I like helping people, right? So
Right.
those are really big motivators for me. So when I left the IT space and I decided to do YouTube, the reason that kind of clicked and made sense was and I didn't even start a YouTube channel on IT. I didn't start it on
Well, that
business,
was gonna be my next question.
right?
Like something must have happened with IT that made you realize maybe I don't want to do this anymore. Maybe there's something else that I'd be better at or have a better interest in. So yeah, talk about that transition.
Yeah, for sure. So, a lot of things happen at work. Once you get into leadership, I mean, it's a different scenario. You're not the person fixing the computers anymore. You're the person dealing with and fixing people, so to speak, right? There's a lot of
Right.
politics and all that stuff. So it was a very different environment. I realized I didn't care for that as much. Like I like more the hands-on technical stuff. But then at the same time, I was just kind of like feeling burnt out in general.
Burnt
And
out with what?
just burnt out with my career, burnt out with the path that I was on.
Okay.
Um, One of the reasons for that was I actually ended up, while I was working at the university, I ended up going and getting my degree about 15 years in, roughly,
In
and
what?
got my bachelor's degree
In
and
what?
in information technology
Okay.
with
Okay.
yeah,
Very
in
cool.
information security. Yeah.
Wow. So you're actually like kind of smart.
Well, I guess with computers, yeah. So, yeah, for sure. Like, I definitely have a knack for it. That's for sure. But so with that, like, I got my degree, and I was like super excited. This is one of the big turning points for me. I was like super excited I got it. I walked into my boss's office, and I love my boss. Like, she was the best boss I had had. But I walked into her office, and I was like, I got my diploma. Like, I graduated. Like, this is a big deal for me, right? I mean, I'd never done it. It was hard.
Yeah.
And she's like, awesome. When are you going to go back and get your master's?
Oh, dude.
And I
Okay.
was like, what? Like,
I
she took me
just
off guard.
finished.
I literally just finished. Like, I walked the stage yesterday, right? I got my
Yeah.
diploma yesterday, right? And she's like, well, if you want to advance anymore, you need to get your master's degree, right? And she was right. She was absolutely 100% right. And she knew I had momentum. Like, I just came off the bachelor's. Like, she got it. But it was that moment when she said that to me, I was like, what am I doing? Like, really, what am I doing? Do I want to be on this path
Like, is
longer?
this just a job or is this like your life kind of deal?
Right. And it
Right.
had become my life, right? Because it was really hard for me to separate the stresses from the job, from the stress from home. Like, everything kind of carried over and blended in. Of course, you've got that with entrepreneurship anyway, but it was a different feeling. Like, there were so many problems I had to handle on a day-to-day basis. Everything from making sure like the tech problems got resolved that my team was responsible for, all the way to personnel management and then politics at the higher levels. It was a lot. And I just decided, I'm like, no, this isn't for me. Like, I got to do something
Yeah.
different. And so that was kind of the turning point when it came from my career perspective. But what happened on the YouTube side, right, was I had already started a YouTube channel in the home improvement space. So
Okay.
I started this channel because my wife and I like
Did
to
you
do.
watch that show, Home Improvement? Is that where you got the idea?
I mean, I used to watch that show, yeah, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I watched it as a kid.
Yeah.
All right.
But my wife and I used to do home improvement work. Well, we still do, but like at that time we were like doing it really heavily. And we had just like gutted a kitchen and we were rebuilding our kitchen like in a 1960s house, right? So it was a lot. And I was installing new kitchen cabinets, and I came to this problem. Like, everyone's was like, well, like, put the corner cabinet in first, and then all of your other cabinets are kind of like based off of that. And I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But the problem was this cabinet I bought it was just like a tube, like a cardboard tube with a front on it. And it wasn't like a box. And so it would just fall over, right? And so I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Like, how do you install this? I couldn't find any information on it. I couldn't find anything on Google search. I couldn't find anything on YouTube. And so I figured out how to make it work, right? And I was like, you know what? It'd be kind of cool if I just like got my phone out and then filmed this and then posted it. Because if I had this
Yeah.
problem, I'm sure other people have the problem too, right? So
And
maybe
if
I'll
you
have
can't find the solution, I'm sure other people can't find the solution.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So I didn't overthink it. I just pulled my phone out. I just talked about what I did, right?
Yeah.
And then I posted it. And kind of forgot about it. And I checked on it like a month or two later, and it had like 10,000 views and a bunch of comments from people saying, "Thank you so much. This is super helpful. I'm so glad you posted this." Like, all these people thanking me.
Wow.
And I realized, I'm like, wait a minute. Is it IT that I really like, and that's kind of like my identity, or is it I just like solving problems and helping people?
Yeah.
Right. And it was really the solving problems and helping people. And once I realized that, I'm like, okay, well, I can do this in a lot of
Yeah.
different ways, right? It doesn't have
Wow.
to be tied to
So
IT.
even though you had like a shift in career, the main purpose of what you love to do as Mark kind of stayed the same.
Yeah. Yeah. My
Yeah.
core stayed the same for sure. Yeah.
I want to go back to what you said earlier about having the stresses from work and stresses from home life kind of blending because
Hmm.
there wasn't like a separation, right? They're dealing with a lot of stuff at work, dealing with stuff at home, and it became overwhelming. And
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of people who feel almost stuck in that feeling and they don't have an option or they don't know what they want to do. So then they lose purpose in their life. They don't know what they want to do to make money. And then, or sometimes people are in a job that makes really good money, but it's not who they are. So they're stressed out anyways, and they don't like their life anyways because they're not doing what they love to do,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, that's I think that's very common. And I was kind of in the latter boat, right? I was making really good money with the promise of, really good money as long as I stayed on that trajectory.
Right.
But I didn't like it. Like I
Yeah.
really did not like it. And that type of work and the position I was in, it really was affecting my home life because I couldn't shut it off in my brain.
Yeah.
I couldn't turn it off. I dream about it at night. It was so bad. So it was like I could never get away from it. I found that if I was able to step away from my job for about a week on vacation, it would take me about a week to really turn it off.
Right.
So if I took time off, if it was less than a week, it didn't really matter. Like it kind of did, but not really. Like mentally, I was still like it's still there and still having to answer calls and emails and all those things too, even though I was off,
Oh,
right? But
dude.
I
Yeah.
could never get away from it. And so yeah, I think depending on where someone is, like trying to trying to get out of their current situation if they don't like it, like it's really hard because it's what you know, right? And if you trade what you know, if you decide to go and do something else, no matter what it is, even a different job, same type of job at a different company,
Yeah.
you're stepping into an unknown
It's
that
still
you don't know how
new
it's going to turn
and
out.
scary. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And you don't know if you're going to make a decision that ends up being worse than what you were
That's the
incurring.
thing, dude. So many people are afraid to go out and do something that they love to do because they don't know if it's actually going to work out or not. So they choose the thing that they think is going to be more stable and just
Mhm.
have better, like more consistent income versus going out and doing what you love and perhaps risking the chance of not making as much money, but at least now you're doing what you actually love to do,
Right. Yeah. Able to
right?
enjoy life. Yeah. You're able
Yeah.
to live. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, Johnny here. Sorry for interrupting, but I just wanted to take a moment and say thank you so much for being here on my podcast. If you guys are enjoying the episodes and the conversations that I'm having with these special guests, please go ahead and like this video and hit that subscribe button so that you guys can see our future episodes. I know there's a ton of different podcasts and episodes that you could be listening to or watching right now. So, once again, thank you so much for being here and supporting us. All right. Now, back to the show.
There were so many people at the university that I met and talked to that they were kind of in the same boat. Like they just didn't like what they were doing. Right.
Yeah.
And, but a lot of them stayed there, especially the people that have been there for a while. They're like, yeah, but we have a pension. Yeah, but in 10 years we can retire. In 15 years we can
So there's all these
retire.
rules that you got to follow.
Yeah, it's like how we're programmed to think about things, right? And
Yeah.
so like, and they're right, right? If I mean pensions aren't a thing anymore, right? Pensions were at that time at the
Yeah.
university. I was old enough, I got in early enough to where I got a pension, right?
Yeah.
It's like it kind of didn't make sense for me to leave all that behind, but I couldn't stomach the thought of another 25 years before I retired. And I'm
Yeah.
like, 25 years to actually enjoy life. Like, no.
You watch
Okay.
Office?
Yeah,
You watch The
yeah,
Office?
yeah.
There's that scene with Ray Romano. He comes in to interview for the manager position,
Uh-huh.
and he's like he's going up the elevator, and he's like in his head about, well, what if I like this job, and then I have to accept it, and then 20 years are going to go by, and then I'm going to die here.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, that's really, really interesting, dude. Thanks for sharing that story because I feel like we have really similar stories. I got my degree in kinesiology, and then I started working as like as a swim coach with my kinesiology degree, but then I became a personal trainer as well. My ultimate goal in life was to be a strength and conditioning coach at a university.
Okay.
But you need a master's for that. So when I got my bachelor's, they were like, "Hey, if you want to do this, you need to go get your master's." And I'm like, "I literally just finished this. Can
There
I
you
like
go. Yeah.
work and make some money first before I decide what's next?" And
Mm.
so I started working as a personal trainer. And then when COVID hit, I lost my job. Everything was shut down, and I didn't really know what to do. And that's when I took that leap of faith, similar to you, where I'm going to leave this and pursue something else that I might actually enjoy. And I started my own online business, similar to how you started working on YouTube,
Mm.
right? And yeah, at first it was really scary. I didn't know what was going on. It was in the heart of COVID, so it's not like I could go talk to people or go to mastermind events or anything like that. I had to sit at my home in on my computer and figure it out,
Right.
right?
Yep.
But I think that's the fun part, right? It's like when you get started, just like you with your phone, take out your phone and just kind of get started, figure it out, and then you can kind of figure out your way from there, kind of deal,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah,
yeah, definitely we can both identify right with that. And funny enough, too, when I left the university, I left like right not in the height of COVID, but like right after things had kind of settled down a little bit
uh-huh.
because I was doing a lot of work from home and there's a whole story in and of itself with that. But like COVID was another element that kind of pushed me towards leaving because one of the things that happened was mandatory furloughs, right? So the university is like, well, we need to save money and budget because of everything. Like we're losing enough revenue. Like we got to make
Yeah,
up for it somewhere. So like you're going to take off 2 weeks unpaid.
right.
Yeah, and we all had to do that on a rotation, right? So like everybody, so like what was fair because everybody has to lose 2 weeks worth of pay. And I'm like,
Yeah, but still, it's not really fair.
no, exactly, right? And between that and the fact with me being in management, I had to lay people off. Like there was a lot of things. I'm like, this whole dream of like working until you retire and job security and being loyal to the company and all these things that I were like programmed into me. I'm like, it's not really true. It really isn't because
Yeah.
I was on the opposite side of it.
And
So,
I would say, I mean, I'm 30, so I'm not that old, but I feel like that's an old school mindset.
mhm,
Go to work, make a living, go home with your family, get 2 vacation weeks a year, and then work until you're 60, retire, and then now you have money to go do whatever you want to do. But by that time, you're tired and you don't want to go do anything,
right.
right? So I
Yeah.
feel like you're right. I mean, COVID pushed a lot of people into entrepreneurship, both of us included. Um, And I mean, personally, I'm going to ask you the same question, but personally, it's given me more purpose and more freedom to do what I want to do, make money, but then also have freedom to go do what I want to do, spend more time with my family. I go golfing a lot. I live in Colorado, so I go skiing a lot too. And I don't know, just I feel like my life is more wholesome because I'm doing everything that I want to do while still being able to survive.
Right.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, 100%. It's the same, right? So I'm able to
Yeah.
spend more time with my family. We have time freedom, right? I'm able to work when I want to work, probably work too much, but I mean, I enjoy it, so it's okay, right? It's you gotta keep a balance, obviously.
Yeah.
But like we were able to just kind of like this past winter, we were able to leave Missouri and we moved to Utah for a couple of months just to kind of get away. And I say move to Utah, it sounds a little strange, like for a winter, like
Like you and
every
your whole family moved to Utah for a couple months?
we all moved down to St. George, so it's like desert. It's like 2 hours from Las Vegas, so it's like highs in the 50s and 60s every day. We're able to go out, we're able to hike, we're able to just like enjoy being together and being in an awesome environment versus like kind of being stuck in the house with, all these days that are cloudy and just dreary and kind of
Yeah.
depressing and snow and all this stuff. And it's just like, so
Yeah.
yeah, we were able to do that. And I realized I'm like, not everyone has this option. Not everyone can do it. Money aside, even if you had the money to do it, like not everyone has the ability to just like pick up and go somewhere for a couple months and
And
then
just go
come
do
back.
whatever you want to. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And so yeah, I'm super blessed that I've been able to make this change and this transition into going from what I was doing with IT into YouTube and marketing and business and all this. And so yeah, it's I'm very, very grateful for that.
That's really cool. That's really, really cool. All right, man. I want to ask you a kind of a serious question, okay?
Okay.
It's kind of the theme of the podcast. So I'll give you a backstory of mine, then I want to ask you the same question, okay? When I was
Okay.
growing up, I had a lot of people tell me I wasn't good enough in certain things, right? I grew up a swimmer. I was the only swimmer in my high school. My high school was a small Texas school, and everyone was either on the football team or on the baseball team or basketball. Like that was it, right?
Mhm.
So when a swimmer comes through our school, everyone's like, "What is this weirdo doing? He's wearing a speedo. He's like shaving his legs for championship competitions. Like that's a really weird thing." And I felt a little outcasted,
Mhm.
right? Um, but I knew that swimming was my passion. Like I loved it. I was really good at it. And I made a lot of amazing friends in that community. But a lot of the people that I spent time with in my hometown bullied me. I had coaches make fun of me, tell me I wasn't good enough, which really sucked and put like this. Even today, I have like somewhat of this mental block of when I want to go do something or sign up for an event or grow my business. I have a lot of voices, right?
Sure. Yep.
So that's one thing that I have to work on a daily basis is when I'm trying to grow my business and connect with people and help my clients. I need to tell myself I am good enough. Like I'm a badass. Like I know what I'm doing
Mhm.
and my passion is helping people and I know that that's what I'm good at, right? So for
Yep.
me, it's almost like I had to forgive all of those people and let go of some of those voices that were holding me back, right? Now
Mhm.
your
Yep.
situation may be a little bit different or not the same at all. But you were in IT for 20 years, and then something happened where you're like, I'm burnt out. I don't want to do this anymore. I know maybe there's a better path for me. And then you made a video, and in today's terms, it went viral. Um, and that opened a whole new world for you, right?
Mhm.
So it was like this one little tiny action that you made on a whim, right? It was like, oh, let me just casually do this one little video.
Yep.
And it blew up. And now you've been doing YouTube for years. You have over 15 million views. You have a very successful online business. So my question is, when you were in IT and you were trying to make a transition out of that, what was something you had to either let go of or forgive, or something maybe that was holding you back from going to the next level?
Sure. Yeah. Oh man. So let me start with like the voices. Like that's definitely something that happens to me too. It's like you think
Yeah.
about like, well, what are people going to say with this change? What are people going to think? And coming from a university environment, I hate to say it, but it's kind of it's very political, so it's kind of toxic. Okay, and so there was many conversations over many years that I was involved in. I won't say involved in, but like at least privy to, like heard about people just degrading other people, right? Professors putting other professors down, doctors putting other doctors down, like making fun of people after they gave a presentation, like all these things and from people at all levels. And so obviously, that makes you self-conscious, right? Just in your normal performance. But then, I had to be okay with the fact that when I transitioned away from IT into YouTube, that even if people were supportive to my face, they were probably talking bad about me behind my back, right?
Right.
And so that was something that I had to like come to terms with and be okay with. But like no matter what, like it's like it's difficult, right? Because like people, even if they like, I didn't have anyone come out to my face and say that's a dumb idea. That's like, what are you doing? Like
You're an
all
idiot. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, right. I didn't have that. But I know that based off of reactions from people when I told them what I was doing, they were kind of like, "Oh, great. I'm so happy for you," kind of thing. It's like, what are you
Oh, weird, but okay. I'm happy for
weird,
you.
but okay. It's like, yeah, but it's like you're not looking at this the way I'm looking at it, right? You're looking at it from like, well, you only have a few more years left and you can retire. And I'm looking at it from the angle of I'm wasting a few more, like I'm wasting years of my life right now because I can't enjoy what I'm doing. And like
What, trading hours for money?
right, you're wasting it too,
Yeah.
but you're just okay with it, you know,
Yeah.
and which is really unfortunate. But like even like growing up, so I was homeschooled, so I didn't really have people, I was just kind of
You only child or do
oh,
you have siblings?
I like to say I'm an only youngest child, which is kind of weird. Some people
Okay.
say
Is there kind of a big gap?
so yeah, so basically both of my parents had previous marriages. And
Okay.
so like I have siblings on both sides, but then with
Okay.
my parents, I'm the only child. And then all my siblings were older. They moved out of the house by the
I
time I
got
was
you. Okay.
it's like my
Okay.
mom was 45 when she had me. And so like I think the difference between me and my sister is like 17, 18 years.
Okay.
So like it's just yeah. So I'm a youngest only child. So yeah, I was really by myself, right? And so I didn't have that, but at the same time I did have like other family members saying, well, you have to go to college, you have to do this, you have to follow this path if you want to do what you want to do. And I'm just like, I don't really think that's true. I'm going to try it my way and see what happens. And it worked, right? So,
Yeah. So did
but
that you doing it your own way and it actually working out, did
mhm.
that eliminate some of those voices?
Yeah, I think, I mean, in ways, yes, in other ways, no. Like I always felt like I was missing something working in a university without having a degree, right? I always
Right.
felt out of place. And so I think I think no matter what, I think everyone kind of just struggles with their own like perceived shortcomings and you just have to work through them. And our
Yeah.
experiences around that are different, obviously, but we all have things that are kind of blocking us from
Mhm.
achieving our true potential.
Yeah, for sure. And I
So,
feel like a lot of people struggle to even move on from that because they're not willing to face those demons, even though it's hard and emotional and it probably stems from a really horrible memory that you don't want to revisit. But
mm,
um, I was in church the other day, and my church is doing the most incredible series. They do like a themed series every 6 to 8 weeks, and this over the next 6 weeks, we're doing movies in church. So we go in, they show like a few clips from a movie, and then they'll like talk about it. They'll like relate it to the Bible and like how it applies to our life. So we watched
mm,
Top Gun Maverick last week, and it was freaking awesome. But the whole point of it was like there's this demon in my mind from something that happened years ago that it's really hard for me to let go of,
mm.
right? Have you seen those movies, Top Gun 1 and 2?
I've seen the first, well, I saw the first one, but I have not seen the newest one yet.
Oh, dude, you gotta watch it. It's
I need
so
to watch
good.
it. Yeah. Yeah, it's on the
Yeah,
list. Yeah.
it's really good. But basically, he's still living with the trauma of his best friend dying from the first movie,
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
and now
Yep.
in the second movie, he is training Goose's son
Okay.
in Top Gun. And so now he's like having this weird relationship with his
Mhm.
son because he feels guilty from something that happened 30 years ago. So it related to me a lot because I have something in my past that I've been struggling with, and I feel like a lot of people do. And it's hard to move on if you don't go back and forgive and accept that it just happened,
Yeah.
but maybe it was for the better. You don't know.
Right.
Where would you be if it didn't happen?
Right. That's true. That's
Right?
very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think yeah, I mean all of our experiences in life kind of make us who we are, right? The good and the bad.
Oh yeah.
So the fact that we have bad experiences, I mean it just stinks that that happens. But at the same time, without those, we'd be like spoiled, entitled,
Yeah.
people probably like so we have to kind of have that tempered. So um
Well,
yeah, I think
it's a
all
nice
things happen for
balance
a
because
reason.
the good things lift you up
Yeah.
and give you confidence, and the bad things, even though it might drag you down a little bit, they at least teach you something so that you can apply it to the good things that will bring you up even more.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, and there's this whole principle in psychology too that talks about like contrast. Like human brains need contrast in order to understand like really what's going on. And so that contrast helps us really process like what we need to do and what the outcome should be. Because if we didn't
Yeah.
have that, then yeah, it would just be
Yeah.
it wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
So
Cool,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
All right, I want to quickly talk about YouTube.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
let's do it.
So as you started YouTube and you were learning how to do it and grow it, and now you sell courses on how to build your own YouTube channel. I actually, everyone, I just bought it the other day, or you have like a free version off your website, which I got, and
Mhm.
I skimmed through it, and it was really really cool because it was so many different things and very informative and laid out really well. But you didn't always have that available, right?
Right.
So when you got into YouTube, what was kind of like the thing that helped you grow the quickest?
Yeah. So, and I'll start off by saying that YouTube is like you can go really deep with YouTube. Like there is a lot of different things you can kind of
Because it's
get
so
lost
different
in.
than TikTok or Instagram,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
Because, or even Facebook. Like all three of those platforms have very different purposes, and YouTube is it's on its own planet, which is so
Right.
cool. Yeah,
Right. Yeah. And even like YouTube has the social media components to it now, like with shorts and stuff, but it's
right.
still different. Like it has that and everything else that makes it YouTube, right? So I think part of it, like with YouTube, obviously I'm a big believer in continuous education, like always like keep studying, keep learning, keep, keep pushing yourself.
Yeah,
And so studying different books on YouTube, also like watching other people, like how they tackle YouTube, how they do things, and really just like this constant improvement of like, okay, well, I made a video and it didn't perform, so like, why didn't it perform? Like, I'm a
Right.
very analytical person, so like, I'm like, well, why didn't this
Yeah, you're
work?
in IT.
Should work. Yeah, exactly. But when you combine that with like with human psychology and human behaviors, like things can get a little bit more confusing. A lot of what I've spent time on since I left IT is really understanding the human element of things too. Like that kind of started back when I was in the leadership and understanding more about how to lead people. But that
Right.
just kind of transitioned and led more over into marketing and business. So understanding that is very critical when it comes to social media or sales or business or all these life skills that you need. Understanding the human component is very important. But also like with YouTube, it's just a matter of I think what people get wrong a lot is they just they want to do it, but they overthink it too much. Like they love the idea of it, they understand the benefits and the power of it, but then there's friction that comes with that, and it feels like it's too hard to overcome sometimes. And I know people that get stuck on different levels of that, like everything from like, oh, that sounds cool, I want to do it, but I'm not going to I've recorded hundreds of videos and never published them, right?
Right.
And there's different reasons why that might be, but it's one of the things that I like to tell my students, like the people I help with YouTube, is like you have to just take the action and go through the process. Like you have to put in the
Yeah.
reps in order to get the result. Without the reps, you're not
Because if
gonna
you don't just start doing it, you're not going to learn what you're good at, what works, what doesn't work,
exactly.
and you
Yeah,
can't find your strengths and weaknesses if you don't just like start doing it. And dude, momentum is huge because once you have that momentum, this is what just so everyone knows, okay, we invested in a similar business coach and he's telling us that when you have momentum in anything, you got to keep on going because once you lose that momentum, it's going to be really hard to get it back.
right.
So to kind of play off of what you were just saying, I feel like if you have a ton of videos or if you don't have any videos, just start posting
Mhm.
because you don't know what's going to get a million views. You don't know what's going to work and what doesn't work. And if it doesn't work today, maybe 3 years will go by and it will only get, let's say, 100 views. I'm sure this has
Mhm.
happened to you before. And then 1 year, it just kind of blows up and now it has, a million views.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's definitely like with YouTube specifically is very unique in that way. Like with most social media, if you post something and it doesn't get any views, it just kind of like it's dead. Like you never
Fades
see it.
away.
It
Yeah.
just fades away. With YouTube though, I've had videos that I've posted that I'm like, why am I not getting views on it? Like why is it just kind of just
Why don't
stagnant?
people like me?
What? Yeah, exactly. Why doesn't it like me? And then I'll have like I've had many videos where it's taken like 3 months, 6 months, even a year later after I published it that finally it just like takes off. Like
Uh-huh.
YouTube figures out who the audience is, they figure out who needs the information, and then they align it, and then it just goes. And
That's cool.
so, as opposed to like the other social media algorithms, like I feel like the other social media algorithms, you're kind of working like to conform to it, right? Like you're always trying to figure out what it wants. Whereas YouTube is a little bit different. It's trying to figure out what the viewers want. And so like it's really trying to work with you to
Oh,
take
that's
your
cool.
content and put it in
Yeah.
front of the right people. But it has to take it like has to figure that out. So
Right.
it doesn't work against you.
Is
So
there like a certain algorithm with YouTube? Because I know with Instagram, the algorithm changes every few months to kind of like keep it interesting. Same thing
yeah.
with Facebook. Does YouTube have like a specific algorithm? And if it does it change frequently or not really?
Yeah, so they have actually five algorithms.
Oh,
So
cool.
yeah.
Great.
So depending on yeah, I know, right? So for one, it makes it harder to try and game it, right? Like there's too many of them. But the same time, like they do modify it, they do make changes to it, but it's not the same thing as like Instagram and Facebook. They're not like they don't like follow trends more. They mainly like follow people. Like they try and like really like understand what
Oh,
the
okay.
person wants, right? And so the five algorithms, one of them search based, right? So like what are people looking for? And then
Like
that's the
keywords.
algorithm, the
Yeah.
keyword. Another one's like suggested videos. So like if you watch a video and then you see other videos pop up on the side, well, those that's its own algorithm. The homepage is a
Uh-huh.
separate algorithm. Like all these things are like designed to grab your interest and serve you what you're looking for and what you need.
Dude, that's why people will watch, will look up something simple on YouTube, and then it's been 3 hours later. Now you've watched 10 different videos on random crap that you weren't even
Yeah,
interested in.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it takes you.
Yeah, it's got so much data and knows people. It's like, oh, well, if they watch like 2 minutes and 15 seconds of this video, they'll probably like this other one and this other top. It's like it's crazy.
That's
You
cool.
know.
That's
Yeah.
cool. All
Yeah.
right, so I have a question for people who are watching this who are maybe interested in starting a YouTube channel, maybe making money off of YouTube. I know one person specifically in my life who has been struggling a little bit with knowing what to do.
Hmm.
And this person wants to start a YouTube channel because they're trying to enjoy life in a different way, not my 9 to 5 job, but like I want to be able to explore more, figure out how to make money, maybe more passively, right? So, what's one big tip you can give to new YouTubers
Okay.
who want to
So
grow a YouTube channel and actually make money from it? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So other than just post content, right? Because
Right.
that's like critical. But other than that, you kind of have to figure out like what type of a YouTube channel do you want? Like what who do you want to serve? What's your purpose? Because it can be very different if you want YouTube um to like you rely off of like ad revenue, like money for views, versus you want your content to help grow like a business that you already have. Okay.
Okay.
Those are two very different things. So if you
Very
have an
different.
existing business or if you want to start a business and use YouTube as like the fuel for that, that's a certain path. That's actually like that's my expertise. That's what I'm good at.
Okay.
Versus if you're trying to start a YouTube channel where you're getting paid for views and monetization, all that stuff. Like I've done that as well, but there's a lot more, there's like different skills that are involved in those two
Okay.
paths, right? So like for the info like the entertain like I call it the entertaining path or the interest-based path, you have to kind of be good at being entertaining and storytelling and like there's a lot of different elements that have to come into play. But if you're leveraging YouTube to grow a business, to generate leads and sales and customers, then the thing that you really just have to be good at for the most part is like solving problems for people. So as long as you can solve problems for people, then
Which
to
is
me
why
that's
your first video blew up.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And those other elements come into play over time, right? Like I'm better at editing now, I'm better at storytelling, I'm better at all these different things. But at the same time, if you're trying to just make that your main source of income, like it's not the easiest path, right? Unless you're naturally entertaining, you're naturally like inclined to that, it's going to
Yeah.
be a little bit harder road, in my opinion. I mean, there's always
Okay.
exceptions to the rule, but that's
So
kind of the
big
way.
tip, the big tip is figuring out who you are
Yeah,
and what you want to present in your YouTube channel.
yeah,
And it's really important because there's really two different paths. You got to figure out what path you want to go down first. That's really important.
mhm,
And then two, how to feed off of that path and feed off of who you are and who you want to be to build to grow.
right,
Is that
yes,
about right? Okay.
sure, yeah,
Now, in
like
terms of making money off of YouTube, quick
yeah.
question.
Mhm.
I feel like I just interrupted you with something. How much money can people make off of YouTube? Like I know there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, but like ballpark. Let's say I post a video and it gets 1 million views.
Yeah. So, well, it kind of depends on the niche that you're in because different advertisers pay different amounts of money. So if you want me, I can do a calculation real quick. So a
Yeah.
million views
You have a
and they
special
pay,
YouTube app calculator.
no, I'm just using a calculator. If you're looking at, if you're in a niche that says, that say pays like five, that basically you're talking about ad revenue, right? Like just getting paid for the views,
Right.
not getting paid for like affiliate commissions or clients.
No,
Okay.
just like if because I know because me and my brother follow a certain guy on YouTube, and every one of his videos has like over 4 million views. And so what he does is travels the world, and he gets paid for YouTube, like through YouTube, to do that.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah,
so if you have a million views on a video and you're say you're making like $10 on your RPM, which is like $10 per thousand. So it'd be like 10 grand for that.
10 grand for a $1 million view video.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
lot.
Roughly. Yeah. Roughly. That's a rough
Yeah,
calculation.
ballpark. I know there's a
And
lot. Yeah,
yeah. And there's other things too. Like you can monetize a channel through affiliate commissions. Like I do that. So like I get paid for on my home improvement channel, I get paid for eyeballs, like the views. I also get paid for affiliate products that I promote. And then I'll do brand deals with companies. So like they'll send me products for free so I can review them and post them on my channel.
Oh, cool.
Which is pretty
Okay.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we've got a family channel as well, a family travel channel that we do. So we're able to partner up with other companies there and get like discounts for hotels and travel and food and like all this stuff.
Just because you're promoting hotels or certain businesses, you
Yes.
either get it for free or at a discount, or
Yeah.
they pay
And
you
as
for it or whatever.
yeah, and as the channels get bigger, then you can expect more in return, like getting access
Wow.
for paid, like paid for promotional
Yeah.
reviews and things like that.
How
So yeah.
many YouTube channels do you have?
Right now it's three channels.
Okay. And
Yeah.
does one significantly like make more money than another?
Yeah, our my home improvement channel definitely it makes the most when it comes to like affiliate commissions
Okay.
and ad revenue and all that. That's the
Yeah.
one that I have most of the views on, and it's the one I tend to put most of the time into when it comes to YouTube. So it kind of makes
Right.
sense.
Well, so I know you're a YouTube consultant as well. So I know that like
Mhm.
you sell courses for people who are trying to grow their YouTube channel. Um, I know that's a business that you have, and I also know that you run your own YouTube channels, multiple, where you have to film and edit and post, and this is a lot, dude. That's a
Yeah,
lot
it
of
is a lot.
work. Um, so if you don't mind me asking, do you make more money helping people with YouTube, or do you make more money from your YouTube channels?
Right now it's from the YouTube channels.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and part of the reason for that is like I haven't spent a lot of time trying to get clients,
Uh-huh.
right? So if like, I just again, it's a lot. It's a lot to balance. So it's like,
Yeah.
well, do I keep going with the thing that is working or do I try and like divert more attention to the, you know what I mean? Like it's that trying to
Yeah.
figure
Yeah.
that out. Like what am I really trying to do here? But you know, like definitely like I've done one-on-one consulting. I've consulted for different groups. So like the Geek Out group, I'm not sure if you're familiar with them, but I used to teach YouTube. I had courses that are available and live training that I did with them inside their community on how to like help their business
Wow.
owners grow with YouTube. And so yeah, I mean, I enjoy part of the problem I have is I enjoy a lot of different things because at my core, again, I like helping people, right? So whether it's expressing it through home improvement projects and content or YouTube or like I just wrote a book, like at its core, like I like to help people. So yeah,
That's cool. Very cool. Yeah. Wow. Do you feel like, because you're juggling so much stuff now, do you feel like the stress and the juggle that you're doing now is a lot better and easier and less stressful than your struggle and your juggling in IT?
1,000% better.
A
Yes,
1000% better. You hear that, everybody? It's worth it.
it is worth it. Yeah.
Go out and do what you love to do, even if you don't make as much money from the start, or maybe you do, right?
Mhm.
It's going to be the scariest thing you do, but I'm telling you, it's going to be worth it because at
Yep.
least you're doing stuff that you love, and maybe you're spending just as much time doing what you do now than what you did when you were doing IT. But at least you're enjoying it more. You're maybe making more money. You found some sort of purpose. You can travel with your family.
Mhm.
That's amazing. That's really cool. You just came out with a book, right?
Yeah, I did.
What's it
Yeah.
called?
I wrote a book. It's called Online Business Decoded. I've got it right here.
Yeah.
Online Business
Show
Decoded.
us.
So basically this book, there's a few different reasons why I wrote it, but one of them is like I've accumulated a lot of knowledge over the years of trying to make this stuff work on online business. Even before like leaving the university, I used to do like freelance work, website development, things like that on the side. And so like I've always kind of had like this entrepreneurial like element to me. I just couldn't
Yeah.
quite figure out things, you know. And so that book is a combination of a lot of different years worth of trial and error and understanding how things really work. So
Yeah.
it's designed to help people get unstuck if they're trying to make an online business work and they're not sure why it's not working or what path to take. There's a lot of information that I put in that, including this concept I talk about called the fourth market. So if you're aware of like there's three big markets, there's health, wealth, and relationships. There's really a fourth market too that no one,
Oh, intriguing. Okay. All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Cool.
So I break that all down in there, and explains a lot of things. And I think it also opens up a little bit more permission for people when they're trying to make something work, and they're like, yeah, but I don't know if this is really going to be a good idea because everyone says it needs to fit
Okay.
in health, wealth, relationships, and it's like, well, yeah, it probably fits in the fourth market. So it's pretty
That's
cool.
really, really cool because most business coaches and entrepreneurs or people who are trying to help out other people, they are in one of those three pillars, right? Health, wealth,
Yep.
relationships. And
Yep.
if they're going to sell a course or work with somebody, it's usually within one of those three.
Mhm.
So knowing that there's a fourth one out there, hopefully will give people a lot of hope that even though I'm not good with relationships or money or health, um, I can maybe find my own strength in this fourth pillar here, which is really, really cool. So
For sure.
that's actually that's really cool that you put that in your book because it just gives people hope that like, well, I can let go of these demons that I have and pursue something because I know that there is options for me. And it
Right.
sounds
Yeah, we
like your
put too
book
many
gives a lot of
limitations on.
clarity on what that is too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like I don't have time to dig into it now because I have to
No, you're
explain too much.
good.
But yeah, I mean, kind of like YouTube opened my eyes to that. Also, like this whole concept of like there's things that I noticed that would work that people would be doing online, and I'm like, well, it doesn't really fit the big three markets. And then everyone was kind of like, well, yeah, but it's kind of relationships. I'm like, okay, that's like you can't just chunk everything into relationships if you don't know what like what it fits into, right? So
Yeah.
that led me down that path. But
Okay.
yeah, well, it's pretty cool. So there's a lot of stuff in there, a lot of human psychology, again, because I trying to figure that stuff out. A lot of messaging examples because that traps a lot of people because like not knowing exactly how to say something. So anyway, yeah,
Cool.
that's what's in that book. So it's not YouTube related, but it's like a lot of foundational pieces for YouTube and for online business.
Awesome. Great. Great. Online business decoded, right?
Coded. Yep.
All right, and you
So
guys
yeah,
can find that
on
off
Amazon.
Amazon. Yep,
Yep.
you'll find it on Amazon. Go look that up, read about it. Mark is really, really cool. We met in person a couple of weeks ago, and we just hit it off on just helping people, posting things, loving what we do. So yeah, Mark, thanks a lot for being here, man. I really appreciate your time. I'm glad we can get your message out there. Hopefully, it will help out a lot of people. And where can people find you on Instagram, right?
Yeah, I'm
YouTube,
on
obviously.
Instagram. Yeah, Instagram at Real Mark Bell. I'm on YouTube. Like I've got multiple channels there, but really my main website is contentandfunnels.com and that kind of
Contentandfunnels.com. That's
yeah,
where I got your free YouTube beginner course. So yeah. So you
there you go.
guys, that is available. His book is available. If you guys have questions, obviously, I'm sure you can reach out to him. That's cool. All right, guys. Well, thank you, Mark. Thanks a lot for being here. If you guys like this video, please go ahead and like the video, actually, and subscribe to this channel so you guys can see our future guests on the show. And yeah, Mark, anything else you wanna say before we end this?
Just take action. Just go out there and do stuff. Like that's huge. So, but yeah, Johnny, I really appreciate being on. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, guys. All right. Well, thanks a lot, man. We'll see you guys on the next episode.